Surprise project. Well, come with me. It's four-wheeler related, so that's your hint. Just bent this rack upward. This Tao Tao says I only need to be 10 and I'm 8. So 2 years. And then you'll find me way up there. And oh yeah, we decided to use an E-ton pad. There's how you spell the name if you want to search it. E-ton. Decided to use the pad here in case I do smash it. And we got this rack bent all out.
It's not going to be very strong. You're not going to be able to like haul anything heavy on it. You have to reinforce it for that. It's good enough for that though.
Yep, this Tao Tao is going to be cool.
So we need to make sure our choke's closed up.
I think Dad's going to try to turn it over.
You want to turn it over with the battery before, right? Put the battery away. Yeah, turn it over.
Yep.
Just need to get a wiring loom, I think.
Yep. If you're wondering what's under that cover, I have an engine to show you with. This black motor. I've already got the bolts out. So this is under the cover. Starter chain, flywheel. These are the magnetos. Coils.
It's always going to be too tall for what you're
For
trying
the
to do.
generators.
Always going to be too tall for what you're doing there. We're going to try to move that up.
And there's a magnet in there. And this is a top start. Let me show you what's in a bottom start. It's really not that different. But on a bottom start, starter's down here. So there you go. But Tao Tao appears to want to be a top start, and so is the E-ton. I can turn this E-ton with my hand too.
There's enough left of that there to go. It's missing all the covers and motors and drive, flywheels.
We do have a golf cart motor.
I don't know if it'll fit on there or not. I'll have to look. It
I
doesn't
mean-
hold up easily. We'd have to modify it a bunch. We'll see.
I mean, with a golf cart motor, you can only race it with a club car. You can only go against a club car with a golf cart motor, because a golf cart's going to have a golf cart engine. Missing the seat, exactly like the Tao Tao.
So we need a wiring loom and we need a seat, right?
Yep.
Every time I buy one of these, someone's already got the wiring loom all chopped up. You know what?
Yeah, I think they can actually quote unquote fix it when they can't. But at least it has the chain and engine sprocket, and the brakes work. And we also plan to get that black motor I was looking at running just on this stand. Here's the bolts for it. Just on this stand. Was chopped off with only the back fenders. I think they're planning to make some sort of Mad Max mini bike. Crazy, isn't it? Well, I might sign off for now. Our project today is this Tao Tao again. And we're working on the steering alignment, because you can see one wheel is kind of crooked. And got it up on our stand with a hydraulic leak. Surprisingly, it even has the engine sprocket and chain.
And all the plastics.
And here are the plastics.
I'll set them down over here. Got all the plastics for it. Alright, so what we gotta do is we gotta adjust this turnbuckle. See this turnbuckle thing here? I don't know if you're looking right at a foot thing. I know you can't see that. It's gonna be hard to see. Can you see it down to this thing right here? Okay, look at the camera, okay.
Yep.
This thing right here, we need to adjust this and that'll tow that wheel in and we need to pull it in, but we're gonna need wrenches to do it. So let me go get some wrenches.
And I'm going to get you back on the stand.
Do it. All right, so we got a little more work to do it. We're gonna do the alignment today and we're gonna try to get the wires here. See the wires, bud?
Yeah.
I think that's where they were using starter fluid to try to start it and just caught it on fire, but we need to check to make sure those wires aren't shorted out. We may have to add new wires.
Yeah.
Because we don't want those short out. We can check that with a multimeter pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's missing a coil and the entire wiring loom, because every time we buy a four-wheeler,
This and the entire wiring room.
every one of them, someone's been in the wiring loom, right? I don't know why. I don't know what they think they're going to do.
They've been in the engine though, because they changed the one.
I don't know what they think they're going to do, but they always got the wiring loom butchered up on them. Luckily, the wiring loom for this thing is like 26 bucks for a whole wiring loom, right? And it even comes with these CDI boxes and a new coil and a solenoid, right?
So we can
Yeah, we'll just fix it.
jack this old loom up all we want.
So we got to fix that. Probably going to have to do some carburetor work, because if they were using the carburetor cleaner to start it, that probably means the carburetor ain't working right. It does have gas in the tank and it doesn't smell too bad.
Yep.
So there's something not right though, or they wouldn't have got it this far apart, right?
It'll puke gas if I turn on the pet
Well, I think it's in the fuel filter there behind your hand, it's got fuel in it. It doesn't look too bad. It looks mostly clean, right?
They had it on the whole time.
Yeah, it's normal. As long as the float works, it won't matter. So leave it off. We'll have to take that apart later and get the carburetor off and clean it.
And this is the choke.
Yep, that's all the way up that way. All right, so we're gonna do this. This does turn over. We hooked a battery to the starter and it's turned over real good, right? Turned over real good. So let's do the alignment and then let's look at these wires today and see if we can make sure those are good. I think it's just this outside covering, hopefully. And if it didn't short these wires out, then we'll just be good. I have some more heat shrink we can put on there instead.
It does look like they lit it on fire.
I think they did. You can see the little fire here. And remember the original air cleaner, we already changed that with the one we had on the shelf. But the original air cleaner had some burn on it too. And that's what makes me think they're using starter fluid, because the air cleaner was melted. I think they're spraying carburetor cleaner in it and it backfired and then it caught on fire. And they put it out and then probably pushed it over the corner. All right. Okay, so I got the camera looking in from the back. Hopefully you can see the adjuster right here. The lighting's not great because we're in the barn. There's an adjuster right there. And the tire is cool. We got the steering column straight, but the tire is way out. I don't know if this camera stand is going to work. Move bud. So we need to get this to go out a lot. Wheels pretty straight?
Pretty straight.
All right, got you way away, but I don't have a good camera mount in the barn, so we're gonna have to work on a camera mount so we can actually have cameras visible, right?
Yep.
Well, this will work for today. Let's see if we can get it. So I will have to go to this wire, and we'll see if we can get that insulation they got on there stripped off, cut down a little bit, and see if these wires are melted. I'm hoping, see, it's good down here. It's just on top where they caught it on fire. So I'm hoping they didn't get the wires themselves. So let's see if we can get this off. We may have to rewire that part. Melted to the insulation. Pretty bad. Well, I guess we could get a multimeter on it and check and see if it's just not, maybe it isn't touching anywhere. Maybe it just glued it all into one lump. You want to take this cover off and put a multimeter on it, see if those all connect through without shorting out?
Can I try to pull it off?
Yeah, you need a ratchet.
The first job I get in this video.
You did it from last time, these were 9mm, right? Or were they 8s? They were 8. These are 8 extension.
Oh, yeah. I wish we had an impact, then we could go woo, woo.
One of these days. One of these days.
Yeah.
Get them loose or you need me to break them?
I think I'm getting loose.
Oh, I'm not moving my camera. Might be staring at the back of your head. Yeah, we're pretty much staring at the back of your head. It's missing the top one, right? It was already missing the top one. You can find something to put in there, I bet. There's only one more? There's not 2 down there?
Only one more.
All right. Sometimes if you use that knurled section on the extension, it'll let you turn them, that part. Not all of them? I remember, you sure? It might be on the bottom. Anyway, you remember we had to kind of persuade that a little bit last time.
There are no others.
All right, we had to put a little screwdriver in there and kind of get it going, didn't
I
we?
think all you need is the screwdriver part.
Why don't you break the case? So, was there one under here? Take that off. I bet there was one under there, under that chain guard. I bet there's one under there. I think there was more than that, so let's check under here too. We just took this off on that other little engine to get the starter off, right? That's got a screw somewhere on the bottom.
I'll prove you wrong that there are no...
There might not be. I was just checking. Don't want to break a case or have to fight it, right? We ain't breaking it.
I prove you wrong.
None under there? Alright. So there's that. We need to look at these wires. You're in the camera. I'll move over. Either way. We need to get this wire loose and we need to check these to make sure that none of them are shorted out. Here's the multimeter out of here. You gonna hold one end on it? I guess I got clips if you don't want to. I think I have some spring clips. You're touching on the plug. I think we're gonna be right here by the way. Can't see the camera.
I'm gonna pick a random terminal.
Well, you gotta know what color it is for me, alright?
I'm doing the red and black wire.
Alright, the red and black one. So I have to come in through here and find out which one. See if I can find one that's red and black. Can't see it very good. Maybe I can cut this insulation away real quick a little bit so I can get to them. I can't see and it's all melted. Wait, is that red? Yeah, that one's red and black, I think. Right here. On the top of this coil. I can only see the red from my angle, but I think that one right there is red and black, isn't it?
Yep.
Alright, so let's see if we stab into here. Can.
It's got a reading.
Alright, so that's not reading. We're going to have to see if it arced out. Alright, pick a different color.
I'm doing the white one.
That's that one. We get connection? Do that. Alright, what other color?
Green one.
Green one is here. Alright, we're good there.
Blue one now.
I don't see a blue one here.
Blue and white.
I don't see a blue and white one on my end here. Oh, there it is. Good.
Good.
What's left? It's all a minute.
Yellow.
Yellow? I thought we checked yellow. Alright. So here's what I want you to do. I'm going to go back through them. We're going to hit the red and black one first. So they all go through, none of them cut. Now, I need you to check all the other terminals to make sure they don't cross over. So move it out of the red and black one, touch the green one. Okay. Touch a different color. Touch a different color. Touch a different color. The red and black one seems to touch all of them. That might be normal. All right, so I'm going to do yellow one now. So touch everyone but the yellow one. Touching anything? Which one are you on?
I'm first touching the green one, the red and black one.
Well, do them one at a time so I can actually read. You're bouncing around. You need to tell me what you're doing.
Okay, so this is a green one.
Okay, that's the green one. You got connection to the green one.
Red and black.
Red and black, got connection to.
Blue and white.
Blue and white's got connection to.
And white.
On it, check that. Okay, we're done. All right, connect you through all those. Check the green one.
Right.
Okay, now check the other colors. Do you understand what we're doing? We're seeing if the wires are melted together.
Yeah.
If they're melted together, they'll cross over. I don't think they're supposed to be connected across all those. Let's strip the wire here and see if we can get closer to it. That's not great. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't connect across. You got some bare wire showing here. See that?
Yeah.
That ain't probably good. Keep putting your nose closer and closer to where I'm cutting. Don't lose your nose.
I'll end up having no nose in a minute.
Screwing around, man. Alright, so if nothing else, if we do have to wire it, we only got to replace this 6 inches of wire, I guess, right? So we got some melty wires. So what we're going to try to do, I might be able to zoom in on this. Let's see. I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but we could try. So these are all melted where they caught on fire. So we're going to try to cut these where they're good still, which is about back to here. And we're going to try to solder in new ones. We don't have the exact same colors. I think we got some that are close enough. We can make it work, right?
Yep.
Let's cut that one. Cut that one. Let's cut all these here. Alright, so we got all those cut, and these are above this plug. See this plug? These are all outside the case, so we don't have to worry too much about getting it smooth. You don't want it to be all ugly, but we don't have to worry too much about it because they don't have to fit through that little slot. So we got room to put a thicker piece of heat shrink on it later, or to tape it up or something, right? We still need this plug. So we got to cut all these wires loose too, and I want to keep them nice and relatively even. So let's cut it here. Alright, so basically we're just going to cut that mess out because it is pretty nasty and it got kind of melted for when they caught it on fire, and a lot of the wires, the bare wires I did when I was trying to pull it apart, but it's pretty much a big chunk of plastic and I think it was grounding out, so we're going to go ahead and
I think we should
replace
see
that.
What's down here?
I don't think that got hot enough. There is a little melty patch there, right there.
Yeah.
But it's still, I can feel the wires moving inside that housing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not stuck. We can cut that off if you want to look though to make sure.
Yeah.
And we'll have to figure out if we can tape that up later. You don't want our wires just flopping on the breeze. We'd like them to be kind of neat, right?
Yeah. We
can go ahead and get that off. But I think those wires, that white wire there and the yellow wire is a little stuck. No, it might be right. Nah, that'll work. They're just a little bit stuck. They're barely glued to it, not like the other one, right? There you go. Yeah. So they're all good, see?
Yep.
Not too bad.
And no, viewers, we can't just do this because then it wouldn't be long enough. We could just join this, but it wouldn't be long enough.
It probably would be long enough, but I wouldn't want to risk it. I think it might be too short. We'll add some wire. So we ended up cutting out about this much wire all together.
Yep.
So when we cut our replacement wires, we're going to want them to be roughly the same length, right?
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and cut these, and we'll make all our wires the same way. So I got a slightly different color green. We got a pretty convincing good yellow here, right?
Yep.
Good looking yellow. We got kind of a blue and red to go with the blue and white, but that'll have to work. What I got, right?
Yep.
How?
I bet this four-wheeler needs a battery to operate the starter.
I don't think it does. Well, to operate the starter it does, but not to operate the ignition.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about some motorcycles have to have a battery to even get spark?
Yeah.
This one doesn't. We want to make sure we get our heat shrink tubing on it. We have two sizes, and I think we need this smaller of the sizes, right?
Yep.
So we want to make sure we get our heat shrink tubing on it, and we need two pieces because we're going to solder this twice, right?
Yep.
And you wanted to solder these, you said?
Yep.
Alright. I'm working off camera again. Let me move this out of the way for now so we can work on camera. Not that this is exciting stuff or anything, right? At least I'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Do you want to touch the wire or you want to hold the gun both? It's kind of heavy. Can you do both?
I think I'll probably hold the gun and
All
touch
right.
the wire.
Okay, well what you got to do is you got to hold that gun on these wires, turn it on. The light will light up when it's on. Got it? We'll hold them up there. And wait till they get good and hot. Make sure our heat shrink tubing's out of the way because it'll melt that before we want to. Keep going, you hold down the whole way. It's starting to get that part hot. We gotta get the wire hot. You never put solder here. You always want to put it on the wire and it'll suck in. See it going in? Alright, let go. Alright, so set that somewhere it won't burn anything. Set it over there next to the vise there, out of the way. Alright, so now the next step. We lost some heat shrink tubing, so we got to make sure we got 2 on each one. So this one has 2, the black one. We're going to try to get this one connected to here. Rail the gun on again.
Yep.
Hold it over there, we can see it. Hold it on that green wire. See if I can do this the other way like I did before.
And
Yeah, don't touch it on my finger because it's hot, right? Go ahead. Oh, I think it has on it. Go. It takes a while for this to get hot. Go ahead and turn it on. Almost got hot now. I can feel it getting warm on my fingers. There it goes. Okay. Alright, so that's all soldered. I'll go trigger. I'll put that over there. Won't get anything burned. We'll be ready to heat them. Get all the heat shrink tubing shrunk up and
we're ready to go.
we get the rest of the wiring loom in. We'll be able to hopefully plug it right in. Make sure you get that piece out of there. Don't want to drop them all in there. They'll fall out, I think.
And then put on the wiring loom, fill up the tank, figure out why it wouldn't run off the tank, and then start her up, see if she goes.
I don't know what was I bet the carburetor just needs some cleaning. People seem to have a very poor understanding of carburetors, and they always want to mess with them. And usually can't figure out why they don't work. They just kind of end up taking them apart.
Mm-hmm.
That or on older bikes, the points, a lot of times the points cover is missing. Like, remember those Rapidos I used to have? All those little Harley Davidson 2-strokes?
No, not really.
The blue one you used to have?
Oh, I kind of remember that one.
Yeah, that was missing a cover. I had to look for a long time to find a point cover for it, because what happens is it stops working and people knew there were points under there. So they would basically take it off to try to get to the points, and if it didn't work after they worked on the points, they just kind of threw the whole thing in the garage and they never put the covers back on. So the covers always end up missing. They get separated from the bike. Alright. Here, unplug the heat gun, the soldering iron. Plug in the heat gun. So you know how to turn the heat gun on?
Yeah, simply just put the switch on low.
Put it on low. And start with these ones. You gonna turn on? There you go. And take a while for it to get hot. It's starting to get warm. You want to make sure you choose one and heat it up. Make sure it's all shrunk. These wires go into here in this housing. This. Shake out all the garbage that might have fallen in there. It's got quite a bit of gunk in there, don't it? Alright, the way this works, these coils, they generate the electricity, right? See this thing right here?
Yeah.
That senses where the crank is, and that tells it when to fire. You know how the points on the other ones we got, the points stay open and they close and open, and that tells the coil when to fire. And this one, that thing right there tells it when to fire. There's a magnet out here that runs across that, and every time it does it, it makes it fire.
And it's controlled by a CDI.
Yep, that's the difference. All right, we need to take these side cuts back out to the barn with us.
Okay.
I'm going to unplug our heat gun. Just leave it up here because it's still probably hot. Leave that up there. But I think we're set. That looks pretty good, right? I think we got to tape it up down here. I don't know if we have any tape in the barn, actually. Let's tape it up down here, and then if we find the loom later, we'll put loom on it. What do you think?
I think we'll just tape it so it matches the rest of the
All right.
loom. I want it to match.
It needs to match, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get her all taped up then. Just for the look of the thing.
What are these jewelry saw blades made of?
Just steel, like a regular saw blade. They're just really small.
So I'm technically breaking steel right now?
Yeah. Good hard steel will break.
I'm bending steel. Ah.
It's a common problem for people that do blacksmithing and stuff. If we ever get to where we get our blacksmith shop going, people that make knives, they get too much of a hurry, and the metal gets really hard and brittle, and it'll crack rather than move. Because remember, blacksmithing is like moving metal like clay, right?
Yep.
But if you get in too big of a hurry, it won't move, and instead it'll crack, and then you'll ruin your project. That happens quite a bit to people. Get in a hurry.
You can't get in a hurry. Now this should match the loom.
Okay. Well, what if I didn't have black? You wouldn't have let me use yellow electrical tape or green or blue? It had to be black, huh? That's good.
Yep.
All right, I think we're good. We'll get some wiring loom on that. We got that plastic wiring loom look good on there too in black.
Yep.
If not, we can always get the plug off, like I said, and heat shrink it too. But I think it'll be fine. It's a four-wheeler, right?
Yeah. And ideally that should go on like this. The star should go meow. It should make it go pop, 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 pop.
Hopefully.
So, we got it set. And by the way, I started playing Jeopardy with the bit, so now I wouldn't be able to be harder to get them in. Alright. And this should just get sucked on by the magnets.
Well, magnet sometimes makes it hard to get on, but gotta line that pin up. Yep, she's under.
This goes here, right?
Now, whichever one, you took them out. Was that the longest one?
Yep.
Alright, longest one maybe.
Aww.
Because that one there is pretty long too. Put that long one in there. I think the one you got in your hands is the one you go right where you're looking. Does it go enough? I think that might be right. Hey.
These are for the chain guard.
Well, you got more. We were missing the top one altogether. That one was never there. Got them sorted in? Alright, tied them up.
I need to even get another ratchet setting. Duh.
No, I had it in the right setting. I had it right, I thought. It's just not tight enough to start yet. Gotta have some friction on it to make the ratchet work, right?
I wonder why none of the other four-wheeler engines we have a chain guard.
Imagine someone took it off. Imagine if you took the chain loose, or it might have got broken, like the chain broke, or just got kicked or something. That one has it all in one piece though, doesn't it? The black one? I think it's all one piece. I don't think it comes apart separately. Can you get these tightened up? I think those are the chain guard ones, didn't you say?
Okay.
Alright. That one a little tighter. Alright, put a chain guard on. Should bang on it. That's why I'm snug. Alright, so we got covers on.
Now I just need to plug this in.
Is that, oh, does it plug into there? Oh, that's right. It did go to that one, didn't it? We're waiting on the rest of the wiring loom, which I think is supposed to be here tomorrow or Thursday. I don't remember which, but we'll get back on it when we get the wiring loom in, right?
But we don't have the key for the old ignition.
Well, the new one comes with a new key, I think.
Oh.
I think they're all the same key anyway. It's like a lawnmower. I think they all have the same key. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure they all use the same key. We could check. Anyway, we'll get a new key.
I'm pretty sure that they're all different.
It might be. I don't know. We'll find out. Either way, we'll get the wiring loom in a day or two, and then we can come through here and we'll get the wiring on it, and then I think we'll put our test battery on it, and we'll see if it turns over and if it gets spark, right?
Yep.
If it gets spark, we might be able to clean that carburetor up and see if we can get it to start up. Once we get it started up, we can put it all back together and maybe go take it for a test drive.
Yep.